Hello everybody, Isabella from Prior Attire here, and a slightly different video today. I tend to say that a lot and then I end up making the usual video, but this time it really is different. It's not a dressing up video, it's not about event, it's not about an antique garment. This one is about Workspace. I recently posted on my Instagram a little gadget, which is this bit, which basically enables me to have an instant backdrop, which I use for shooting photos of in-progress details from my books. But also it will work very nicely for, it's great, for finished photos of stock garments that don't have to be modelled on a person but can be modelled on a dummy. So that just makes my work much, much faster because I used to have, well, I still have, a Victorian screen that I've renovated and I've been using it for years, but it is heavy, it's cumbersome, and it's getting a little bit worn, and I don't really want to sort of damage it. So I will still use it from time to time, but for most of the stuff, I've got a nice backdrop here and I can swap it to different backdrops, which is even better. But quite a few people have commented that it's perfect for hiding all the mess behind it. I mean, the mess was basically my ironing board with stuff on it. I've also was sent messages from people saying that an influencer shouldn't be showing a cluttered space or a messy space. It sets a bad example. And shame on me. And well, I giggled quite a lot because have you ever met a tidy dressmaker? I haven't. I've met a lot dressmakers and tailors. I haven't really met a dressmaker who, in project, would put everything back on its original place straight away. I suspect if my husband was a dressmaker, he would be one. But for most of my experience, and I've since run a poll on Instagram as well, most of us are agent of creative chaos. And that's how we work. So we do tidy up more or less religiously in between the projects. But once you have a project on, everything goes. And as long as you know where things are most of the time, that's fine. And yeah, it's cluttered, it's messy, there's stuff on the floor, there's stuff on the surfaces. Very often it's because it's much faster to reach for it and find it rather than go back to the original file system, blah, blah, blah. For some people. I mean, if you are super tidy, gosh, amazing, with my respect. But most of it are not. But what it shows from people who are not creators is how we got sort of conditioned to expect an absolutely ideal sewing space or any other artistic space from people posting content on Instagram or YouTube or, I don't know, TikTok. And this is a very fake image. I mean, I suspect most of the influencers who post their little sort of post, not just a little by means sort of concise in size, which is extra tidy, but there's a huge mess behind. I have no doubt of that because that's what I've been doing when I was filming content for a teaching or a tutorial, which is different because for a tutorial, you have to have everything very, very clear. So you tidy the space you need so that it's easy to present so people can focus on what you are trying to show. But that is very different to a working dressmaking studio. And I'm not an influencer. I don't create content. I'm not a content creator. I create garments and books, obviously, but I make the garments, photos, books first. And that is that's what my focus is. So it's not the sanitized space that you use from people focusing on small bits and pieces with probably a huge pile of mess behind them or everywhere out of the shot. This is basically what a working space looks like. And that's not something that we are used to be shown nowadays because we've all been conditioned to hear this to see, okay, popular person or not, of, professional dressmaker, obviously would have a amazingly tidy workshop to show everybody what it's like. And that is not what it's like, at least in my experience. So Well, I've got a very, very small workshop. When we moved to Expo, I had to downgrade from a workshop 3 times the size. So the space is very much at a premium. So having it some sort of order helps. Although, I mean, I'll try to find a photo of the place before a market or before a major event when everything's around. And I know where most things are, mostly. If you have any idea where the stock pins are that I bought last year, that would be great help. I still haven't been able to find it despite cleaning the place thoroughly about 3 times since. But we all organize our space to what works for us. It's not about what it looks like. It's about what the final garments are. Not content, not footage. It's about actual garments that we sell or that are being commissioned. So the quality needs to go into the production of the garment, not into what the production actually looks like. So if you've seen any of my sort of short videos on Instagram, you will see quite a lot of mess there, because that's what real life is. Let us not glamorize it. It's not all sitting on a windowsill and sewing in hand Jane Austen style. That's not what it's like, especially if you are a professional and you have to do things promptly, on time, and with as much economy as possible, time-wise. So let us have a look at my little studio, because lots of people are asking about it as well. I'm going to reverse the camera and just sort of take you through quite messy workshop. It's not as bad as it can be, so it's not too bad. I'm just finishing one project and starting another one, so it's not too bad. But there is a method in the madness here, so I hope you can see that. So let's have a look. Right, this is what you see when you get in, and it's a really tiny studio. It used to be a work office, I think. It would make a brilliant home gym place if I ever find a nice workshop around here that is not an hour away of commute. So, excuse my naked dummy. On one side, we've got boxes with fabrics. That's my stash. So most of it are leftover fabrics, scraps, things that I can be using for sleeves, bags, waistcoats. There's one unit here with commissioned items, so that's fabrics for specified commissions. Most of these here are cottons and linen. Things in progress, so a couple of things ready for a Buxton weekend. Behind that, more boxes with fabric and fabric overflowing here, mostly because I've been digging into it. And these are silks and wools. So let's continue past my stuff. That's the original Victorian screen that I have been using. So it's great, but it's really heavy, really bulky, takes a lot of space as well. So I now can actually relocate it somewhere else and use this one here, because this one is just brilliant. And in and out, and it's not a problem. So we have more silks here. In this unit here, we have some tailoring materials on top. Oh, this is heavy. My dummy. This very, very messy cupboard is mostly corsetry materials, linings, light cottons, some equestrian stuff. I've just taken delivery of new glazed cotton, so that's where they are. They are not going to lie there for long because I've got plans for them. My little heating unit and my ironing corner with Thranodine velvet here. Let me see if you can see it better with the corset I made for her. So that's my pressing tools, a very useful ironing board, perfect for big stuff. I'm just preparing a balayage for this dress over here. Some more steaming stuff, patterns. I've recently added the bamboo sticks for accommodating huge patterns because I've been running out of space. So I have some spatters there and some boxes with leftover fabrics that will go to charities or the scraps got sold to quilters. We get our cutting table. That's basically 2 doors put onto units with more silks. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing that. So that's silks, that's cottons and wools, and a bin for all the fabrics. And again, scraps are used thoroughly. So I only use natural fabrics anyway. And the scraps go to local charities for pet beds, I suppose. Some go to the farmers for newly born lambs and stuff like that. Most of it I sell in little bundles of silks or cottons for quilters or other people needing expensive fabrics, but in small amounts. You see my very old original dummy with an original corset. I think the talk on that is coming up shortly. We've got more shelving, books, boning, grinder, a bit more tailoring bits. This one here, this one actually folds. Let me see if I can fold it over. We've recently had a heat wave, so the fan wasn't used. Oh, and meet Stephen, mostly for filming. That's Stephen Taylor, obviously, because of the scarves. My eye making grommets. Here I've got toiles and all finished mock-ups for clients and for myself, so that's a little bit more space now. Bits and pieces, mostly hardware and lacing, one machine, threads, lace, haberdashery, tapes, very messy as I've been looking for some laces for balayeurs, as you can say. Overlock of threads. These are leftover bindings and bias cuts from lots of projects, and I'm using these for binding corsets or making corset channels or whatever else I can. I don't really want to throw things out if I can still use it. So it is over a meter long. It can be used at some point. This little unit has mostly ribbons. My main machine, both machines are Janome. My overlocker, a baby lock, working board, tapes, bias tapes, and that's another corner of chaos. Lots of wool, and lots of smaller scraps of silk. So these, for example, here are mostly for stays and corsets. These are going to go into Regency Spencer jackets or Tudor bags. So smaller bits, but still usable, that I can do something with. This is stuff mostly that I'm using when I'm sewing at the moment. So that is going to be used in a sec. And you have my male dummy awaiting its turn. So that's it, and that's my filming pot. I need to upgrade my equipment, I think. So that's what it looks like. Is it pristine? Absolutely not. Is it messy? It is a little bit messy. Could be much, 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 much worse. But it's my space, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Oh, I missed one thing that some of you might like. That's my boning for corsetry and pattern paper. And some bits, lots of elastics there hiding. I don't use elastics a lot. There's more fringes, eyelets, some antique laces, lots of boning. So, yeah, that's basically what it is. I hope you've enjoyed the little tour. And I hope it stopped raining. Let us see what's outside. I've got lovely views normally. And let there be light. We have lots of rain and sun today. So that's my view. So yes, let me know whether you are a very tidy dressmaker or creator, or you're a messy one, or you're a total agent of chaos like I am. It will be quite interesting to see how many people, basically what people are like. Oh no, this has fallen off, my little plate. Never mind. Yeah, thanks for watching, and let me know in the